Hello, mysterious person behind the screen, and welcome to my review of Mummy on the Orient Express. Was it another great episode like Series 8 has been, or was it just a train wreck? Find out in my review. I was really excited going into the story. I honestly was. It looked absolutely brilliant. You had a really convincing costume for the mummy, and it seriously is still good. You had a great premise. It was really original. We've been waiting 4 years for it because it was mentioned in the Series 5 finale. So I was really excited for this, and I think it really did deliver. The opening title sequence, which we've all seen before because the BBC uploaded it to their website. Come on, BBC, don't do that. You don't do that. It was great. It was really creepy. Set the scene well, and it was the first murder that the mummy actually did, and it really did set the scene for the episode well, set the tone and the scene. After the opening titles, which did a really cool thing with the name of the episode, like it had Mummy on the Orient Express by Jamie Mathieson, and then it sort of, the title faded into the episode, so when the TARDIS landed, the title was still on the screen, and it faded out when the TARDIS had landed. I really like that. I hope they keep it, because it almost feels like it's just like the title sequence ended and it's coming up on screen, like, you know, they used to do in the old TV programmes, not the classic series. I'm just saying, like, they used to do this like in the Batman 60s show and everything. They used to do it in a lot of programmes, so it was really nice. It was a really cool little effect. I know it's a minuscule thing, but come on, it was cool. And then we find out Clara is in this episode. You know, okay, a lot of people have said, you need to calm down. There were scenes after this that explained it in the episode. But, you know, I was just distracted by the fact that she was there. It's just like, Kill the Moon had an absolutely brilliant ending that left you wanting more. Oh, what was going to happen? Was Clara really going to leave the Doctor after all this time? What was going to happen? And then right from the start of this episode, she's happy and smiling coming out of the TARDIS. I know, before anyone says, I know that it was supposed to be her last trip with the Doctor. I know that it was supposed to be the final thing, and I know she was just giving it one more chance. Okay? But it's just, if you're watching these back to back, okay, Kill the Moon and then Mummy on the Orient Express, like back to back, it would just leave it complete change in tone. It's a complete change in tone, and it's really, really jarring. I know there were scenes after that, but it was just like, I was really hoping for Clara not to be in this episode. And it's just, she was, and it was just kind of distracting from that. She was bearable in this episode. I liked her a lot more than I have done recently. Her character's really inconsistent though, but at least she was bearable in this episode, and she would have been even more enjoyable if she had done anything. She didn't do a damn thing in this episode. It really got on my nerves. If you took her out of this episode, the episode would be no different, apart from the ending. That would be the only thing that was different about this episode. She wasn't needed. She wasn't needed. You could have written her for an action. You could have gave her something to do. No. She's just trapped in a cupboard for like half of the episode. It's just pointless. Oh, it annoys me so much. Directly after that scene, we go into the ballroom with Fox's, well, not the ballroom, you know what I mean. Fox's is singing Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Now, this cover, Fox's was really overhyped in this episode. I did not have a clue who she was to begin with, but they were like, on Twitter, all the BBC were putting about this episode is, can't wait to see Fox's in this new episode. Wow, check out a special interview with her right now. Oh, tonight Fox's is in Doctor Who. It was just like, you're not really focusing on any of the story elements. She wasn't even in it for a minute. Her screen time clocked up to around 40 to 45 seconds. It's just like, what? Why was she so hyped? It's not like she did anything. The cover of the song, though, I didn't like it at first, but it has grown on me. The BBC put a music video with like clips from Series 8 and even clips from future episodes in there with her singing the song. And I actually really like the cover. It's like I'm humming it everywhere I go. I'm just humming the slow beat of it, and it's like, it's a good song anyway, but this cover was really good. If it ever appears on iTunes, I'm going to buy it, because it was quite good, actually. So, the woman's daughter, the woman who got killed in the beginning's daughter, I've forgotten the name of her character, even though I rewatched this morning again, but I was just like, her character was quite inconsistent. It was kind of like when she was in the storyroom with Clara, she was like kind of not feisty, but not like damsel in distress, like Scream, like a girl who just scream and run away from everything. But when she was in with the carriage with the doctor, making Clara lie, she was just like giggly schoolgirl who would just scream at everything, and it was just inconsistent characters. I know that James, the writer, is new to Doctor Who, and I know it was a fantastic episode overall, but it was just some of the characters were really inconsistent. It just threw me how inconsistent they were at some points. Another one of the characters which I really like is played by Frank Skinner, and his name was Perkins, the chief engineer. I had to think about that. I can't remember any names of the characters in this story. I don't know why. But I had to think about that. That's why there was a jump cut there, presumably. Perkins, the chief engineer. I thought he was a really good character. He was good for comic relief, and overall he was just really good for he was a really good one-time companion, I think. And it's good that he was both. He was the comic relief character and he was a good one-time companion. And the fact that the Doctor liked him so much that he invited him to go on the TARDIS at the end just shows how good he was. He was such a good character. Maybe he'll return, but Frank Skinner said in Doctor Who Extra, like, he doesn't really want to think about that yet. So, I don't know. He might return sometime in the future, he might not. Let's talk about the mummy in this episode. I've already mentioned how good the costume is. It looks really lifelike. Apparently, some of the cast said that he forgot he was in costume at one point and kept, like, saying, do you think that was good enough? What's for lunch and stuff? And they were just terrified. And it really is a scary monster. I don't see... The BBC have said that it was too terrifying to put in the full-length Series 8 trailer. Okay, do what you want, BBC, but I mean, it wasn't that terrifying. It was scary, yeah, but it wasn't that terrifying. The start the clock business with the clock on the screen, I liked it the first 2 times, but by the 3rd and 4th time it kind of got a bit repetitive. It was kind of just like, oh, okay, it's there, it's constantly there. The first and second times were like, okay, this is new, this is pretty cool. Oh yeah, this again, I really like this. And the 3rd time was just, oh, this again, this is getting a bit boring now. 4th time, oh, I'm sick of that now. But yeah, it got a bit boring after a while. It was a good idea to begin with, though. It kind of reminded me of a video game, when you have the time limits on there. And then when Gus, the computer, says at the end, near the end anyway, when the Doctor and the passengers are in the carriage, and Gus actually says, your goal is to ascertain whatever, but it was like, it reminded me of a video game, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's something that you find in a video game. It's not a big thing, but it was just something that I got from this episode. The mystery of the mummy was well kept up in this episode. Like, it really was a puzzle as to what he was and why you can only see him when you're close to death and you have 66 seconds to live. It really was a puzzle. The reveal might not have been that great. I mean, I had to watch it a second time to really understand what it was, but it was a bit confusing, yeah, but I think it was a really, really good concept. I think it was Jamie Matheson, I think that's how you pronounce it, Matheson? I don't know how you pronounce it, but him, he has some really, really great ideas. They're just so original, and it's just so great. His writing style is really great. Apart from the characters being inconsistent though, but yeah, his writing style for this episode really suited it as well. Just like Peter Harness last episode, he should come back for series 9. Definitely. There are a few nice Tom Baker references in this episode. One being when the Doctor was talking to himself, he put on a voice that sounded just like Tom Baker. I didn't notice it at first, but then second time I was like, what was that? And I rewinded it, and it sounded exactly like Tom Baker. And then, of course, when he offers jelly babies to the Professor, that was a really nice reference as well. It made me hungry, even though I can't eat them. Yeah. There are a few nice gags as well in this episode. When Clara, when the Doctor phoned Clara on her phone, you could actually see it was a picture of a stick insect with a top hat on. I didn't notice it at first. Again, you pick up a lot of these things on a rewatch, but it was a stick insect, and I found that really hilarious. It was really funny. There were other gags as well. It was really, it was a nice balance of dark and light mixture in this episode, even though it kind of lent more towards dark, but it was a nice mixture. So when the day is saved and the train blows up, the Doctor gets everyone to safety, of course. The train blows up, and then we have the Clara rejoining the Doctor. I don't really know how I feel about this. I mean, okay, it's resolved. The 2-episode story arc of Clara is now resolved. Okay, we don't have that anymore, which is okay, because that was kind of, like, it kind of got ruined in this episode anyway, like the ending of Kill the Moon did. So it was kind of like, just like, okay, that's gone, okay, that's fine, we won't miss that. But then it was kind of, Clara phoned Danny and sort of lied to him again. And she's chosen the Doctor, she's chosen a life with the Doctor now. But there was sort of an uneasy feeling about it. Like, I kind of know that something's going to happen in the future that will make her regret it, because it did seem quite uneasy. But, you know, for the moment, I think it's nice. And, I mean, next episode is supposed to be a Dr. Light episode, so yay, that'll be fun. More of Clara. Oh my god. I think Jamie Matheson was writing next week's episode as well. I'm not really sure. But yeah, next week's episode, Flatline. Okay, it looks like a good premise, but if it's just a Clara episode, then it's just like, what's even the point of calling it Doctor Who? You'll know that one of my main complaints of this series is to focus too much on Clara anyway. And I don't mind a Dr. Light episode if it's just used sparingly. The companion should not be the centre of the show. The companion should be the supporting character. She shouldn't be the main character. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed Mummy on the Orient Express. It was a nice original concept and was worth the 4-year wait. Some people are calling it the best episode of the series. I disagree. I don't really know what's the best episode of this series. I mean, we'll have to wait till it ends to actually figure that out. But you know, it was a cracker of an episode. Series 8 is really shaping up to be something special at the moment. Just great stories, just continuously. It's just so great, and I think we are lucky to have this series, and we're lucky to have Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. Once again, his performance in this episode was really great, and you know, maybe he's not going to be in that much next week's episode, but if Jenna Louise Coleman can carry the episode, then I think it'll be okay. But yeah, that's all from me, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!